What's up? I was thinking it's funny. I'm 35. I don't remember the days when gas was 25 cents a gallon and all that kind of stuff. But I do remember a different era of the modern gas station. When I was a kid, growing up in the in the early 80s, I remember gas stations were also service stations. If you had a flat tire, you take it to the gas station. If you needed brakes done, you took it to the gas station. Usually they had a lift. Usually they had a couple people working on stuff. When you'd pull into a gas station, somebody would come out and wash your windows and pump your gas for you. And there might only be one option for gas. Maybe you'd have two options. You'd have regular, and back then they would call it high test. And you wouldn't go to a gas station to get something to eat. You wouldn't go to the gas station to get something to drink. It's not the place that you would probably go to get lottery tickets or cigarettes or any of that kind of stuff. It was a place to go if you needed something fixed on your car, or if you needed fuel. If you needed air in your tires, they would have an air pump there, and it wouldn't cost you anything to put air in your tires. I was with my grandpa one time, and he had a low tire, and we pulled into a gas station. He walked up to the air pump, and he picked it up and he put it on the tire, and he couldn't get it to do anything. He didn't realize that the pump took quarters. And I remember he was so pissed that they wanted money for air. And then I remember pulling into a gas station and sitting there waiting for someone to come pump the gas, and having my grandpa kind of, he wasn't the most patient guy when it came to stuff like that. So he was used to pulling into a gas station and having an attendant come out and pump his gas and clean his windshield and all that good stuff. And we sat there for a couple of minutes and no one came out, and he said, "Come on, let's go inside." So we went inside, and he started kind of giving the person working there hell. And they said, "Sir, it's self-service." That was a transitional period. You went from every gas station being 100% full service to now there were gas stations that had a pump for self-service and a pump for full service. And if you pulled in the self-serve side, they wouldn't come and wait on you. And my grandpa had never seen one of those. And he was born in 1926, so he had a long life of seeing gas stations run a certain way, and then out of nowhere they were being run completely different. You started seeing gas stations suddenly had like a cooler inside with pop in them, and maybe some snacks and candy and things like that. That became kind of a more commonplace thing. Eventually you started seeing the gas station would still be open, but the service station would be closed. The garage doors would just be closed, and they wouldn't be working on any cars, and you couldn't go there to deal with a flat tire, and you couldn't go there to get your brakes changed and all that kind of stuff. And before you know it, you would see a new gas station pop up, and it wouldn't even have the garage part. And then you would start to see no full service at all. They were all self-service. And then at some point you started seeing them pop up with a convenience store sort of built in. And then when I was a kid, if a gas station had food, that was like considered like the lowest of the low. Like, you wouldn't want to eat gas station food. That's like how you would describe food being really bad. You would say, oh, it was like gas station food. If a gas station had something to eat, it was usually like those big rollers with the hot dogs or the sausages on them, and they would sit there for like a whole day and get all gross and dried out, and you'd bite into it, and it would kind of like, it would have like this weird chewy kind of snap to it. It just, it wasn't appetizing. And now here we are. I walk into Sheetz, which is a gas station in my town that's right by where I work. Not everyone knows what Sheetz is because they're not everywhere, but it's like the same idea as a Pilot or a Safeway or whatever. But basically, they have like a full service kitchen. They have a menu. You can order different kinds of food, and that's something that I don't think my grandpa would have ever been able to imagine. It's just crazy to see the transition between a place that would work on your car to being like a place where you stop to get junk food, and a place where you would go in and specifically choose that as food you want to eat. When you say gas station food, you have to be more specific nowadays, because Sheetz is a gas station, but I get food from there all the time. We all do at work. It's not crazy expensive. They make it pretty quick. It's all made to order, and you can have it any way you want it. So it's neat to see the transition between the old days when a gas station was one thing to now what a gas station has become. It's just insane to see that transition. So. Off topic, but another thing that I remember my parents and my grandpa and stuff like that being pissed about was the first time they ever saw someone charging money for a bottle of water. To my parents and stuff, it's water. It's water. You just turn on a faucet and you put it in a cup and you drink it. For them, that was what water was. At my house, we had a spring. We would just get water out of the ground. And now bottled water is one of the biggest products on the global market. People who have perfectly good tap water at their house still drink out of bottles. People who have filters on their taps still buy bottled water.